Hi, my name is James Shepard with ccsalespro.com. Our goal is to provide the best content for you if you are selling small business owners or if you have a team of salespeople that sell small business owners. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about 3 steps to growing your merchant services portfolio. 3 steps to growing your merchant services portfolio. The merchant services industry can be a little scary for somebody getting into it for the first time. It's a very open industry. There's not a lot of structure. And so many times even a really high quality salesperson or true professional, they'll get a little hung up on kind of, what do I do now? What's the next thing I've got to do? And so I'm going to give you 3 really simple steps that will help you to grow your merchant services portfolio, whether you're brand new to the industry or you've been in the industry for a while. Step number 1 is to get organized. Step number 1 is to get organized. Here is your little to-do list, and this should not take you very long. This is something that should take you, maybe a week to really get yourself fully organized. Number 1, make sure you understand what your processor has to offer in terms of, the paperwork. Make sure you know how to fill out the paperwork. Make sure you know what terminals they're providing. You know how to talk generally about the pricing. You have some idea of what your processor is offering. Make sure you go through a training course. You can do that by going to instantquotetool.com, instantquotetool.com, sign up for a free 30-day trial, and you can actually go through all the training for free during that first 30 days while you're kind of getting started in the industry. We do that for you because we know what it's like. I know what it's like. I remember getting into the business for the first time and having no idea what I was doing. Nobody trained me. It was a really bad experience. And so I've spent the last 7 or 8 years of my life making sure that you don't have to have that same experience. So go to instantquotetool.com, register for free, and go through some training courses. So you get that basic foundational knowledge. Now you're going to want to go through it again down the road once you've actually gotten out in the field. And I don't recommend that you really dwell on it and try to make sure you get everything exactly right, because you can't learn something like this unless you put it into practice and get out in the field. So I would highly recommend that you go through some training, but then you got to be ready to get out in the field. So make sure you have business cards. That's the other thing I really highly recommend. As far as other marketing materials, you can contact your processor about that, but to be really honest with you, many times they can be more of a hindrance than a help. Probably the best thing that you could have to carry with you out in the field is an actual terminal, and that's what I would always used to do when I was full-time in the field. I'd always have a brand new terminal with me, and that's what I actually carried out in the field. So talk to your processor if you have some extra money and you can maybe buy a terminal. Usually they cost $150 to $250 to have a new terminal you can have in the field. That's really the best prop that you can kind of have. Other than that, just some nice business cards. I recommend Staples. You can get 100 business cards, I think, for $10 or something like that, and you get them same day. So you can go there and get it designed real quick, and they'll have it for you a few hours later. So I recommend Staples. That's really about it to getting organized. Understand what your processor has to offer. Go through some basic training so you understand that side of the business a little bit. Make sure you have your business cards. And then that's pretty much it on getting organized. Okay, so that's step 1. Step number 2 is build your initial portfolio. Build your initial portfolio. Now, I usually set this at about 30 merchants. And so let me explain what I mean by that. In order for you to get your first 30 merchant accounts, you're going to need to do a couple things. First of all, you've got to choose your prospecting method, okay? I would highly recommend that you choose your prospecting method based on your past success. So if you have money to invest, then certainly there are some options. You can, maybe go and buy some leads somewhere. You can go online and search for that kind of stuff. And so that's an option. If you don't have money to invest, basically you're either going to be doing this by calling on the phone and scheduling local appointments for yourself, or you're just going to go out in the field and walk into businesses cold turkey. So I explain both of them extensively in my training, but you need to pick one or the other. And what I find is that a lot of salespeople make this decision for kind of the wrong reasons, and they make a decision based on, well, I didn't really like being out in the field as much, so I'm going to try it on the phone. Or, I don't like being on the phone, so I'm going to go out in the field. It's not really about what you like initially. Getting those first 30 accounts is about what are you good at. So if you're good on the phone, whether you like it or not, then call on the phone and schedule appointments for yourself. If you're very good face-to-face walking in, then do that. But you're going to have to very, very quickly, like within the first few days or week, make a decision and then stick with it, because you don't want to be deciding every day, am I going to stay home on the phone or am I going to go out in the field? Make the decision and then stick with it for those first 30 accounts. And so the idea, you're like, well, why 30? Well, the reason I think you want to go after those first 30 accounts is that 30 accounts is about the right number where you don't want to be making a lot of decisions. You just want to be, watch my training, get a good pitch, write it down, memorize it, look at the objections and rebuttals, make a few plans, take like a week and get prepared, and then just get out in the field and say, you know what, I'm going to do this full time, 6-8 hours every single day, 5 days a week until I have 30 accounts. Don't really look back. Don't try to evaluate your performance. Just do it. And that's why I think it's important. You got to choose that prospecting model and then just get out there and do it. Now, as you're building that initial portfolio of 30 merchant accounts, you also really want to stay pretty much laser focused on merchant services. There are many other things that you can sell. I'm going to talk about one of those in point number 3, but you really want to stay laser focused on merchant services until you have at least those first 30 accounts. Don't try to sell point of sale or web design or, rewards and loyalty programs and all that stuff. You're just doing a quick pitch. You're going in, saving them money, hopefully, closing the deal, setting them up. And so you want to move quickly and get those first 30 accounts. The other reason I always set it at 30 accounts is because 30 accounts is usually going to get you a pretty good income, both upfront and residual. And so that's usually a good number where it kind of, again, you're certainly not going to be making a lot of money, but you're going to get enough to kind of like, okay, I got something going here. The business is moving forward. Now, once you have those 30 accounts, now we're ready for step 3. And step 3, I call referral and grow your margin. So get referrals and grow your margin. So you're basically focused here on kind of 2 numbers. After those initial 30 accounts, you're focused on 2 numbers. Number 1, how many customers are you getting from each existing customer? And this is why you want to really service your accounts well initially and make sure that you can get those referrals. Go to people and ask them, hey, do you know the name of any local business owners in the area that I could talk to? Don't ask them for a referral because they'll give you one if you're lucky. Instead, ask them, hey, do you know that I happen to be out here today? Do you know the names of any other local business owners? By them doing that, asking that question, what's going to happen is you are going to get maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 names that you can go after, and that's going to get you those referrals that you want. The second thing I would say is grow that margin. So you're looking to grow the per merchant's profitability is the kind of the second number we're looking at here. So you've got, Susan, who owns her craft store, and she is currently, you're making whatever it is, X, $20 or whatever it is off of her account monthly. Now let's see if we can get that to 40, 50, 60. And so there's a couple different ways that you can do that. And I think this is one of the big areas that a lot of merchant services salespeople are actually leaving a lot of money on the table. Yes, there's a big value to focusing on one thing like merchant services, but if you want to get referrals, you're probably going to have to increase the scope of your relationship with your clients. One of the things you can do, for instance, is you can sell web design. We have a program. I have a company that does a web design reseller program for website rentals. So, your customers can get an amazing website. We're actually working on a lot of different verticals right now. One of them is like salons. We have a program for salons where they can get an amazing website for their salon. And instead of paying, $20,000 for this custom developed amazing website where their people can book appointments online and they can text and email their customers, instead of spending 20 grand, they can spend a much, much smaller amount and they just do a rental and they rent the over a long period of time for maybe $99 a month. And so it doesn't, there's not that huge upfront investment. So little things, I try to focus though on things where I try not to go back in for this like mega sale. I'm not going to go in there and try to sell them necessarily this massive point of sale system or whatever, because again, mistakes I've seen a lot of merchant services salespeople make is that once they start making sales and they have those first 30 accounts, they actually end up wasting a lot of time with those 30 people that's not profitable. You're not looking to go in there and like do something that's going to take the next month of your life, because you do still need to be selling and getting to 100 merchant accounts without being too distracted. You're looking for that really quick thing. Like, again, in this case, renting a website. It's $99 or $69 a month or whatever. It's cheap. It's easy. There's not a big upfront investment. You just walk, go in, hey, Susan, how's everything everything going? Awesome, awesome. Hey, real quick, I started, working with this company. I just want to tell you about it real quick because I looked at your website and I noticed that it's not mobile, not really a mobile first design. And as you probably know, 60-70% of your web traffic is mobile right now. I've got this company. It's really cool. You actually just rent the website. It's $69 a month. You don't have to pay anything, up front on it. It's a really good deal. It's a $69 a month. You make your first payment. 30 days later, you've got a custom, mobile-ready, awesome website that looks great. And then you just rent it. And if you ever want to cancel, you just cancel it. What do you think about that? Is that something you'd be interested in? And see, I just spent 45 seconds pitching that. My customer, if they like me and if their website isn't mobile ready, they're probably going to say yes. I take them online to the online survey form. They fill out a little online survey. They click done. And then I'm like, hey, it's great talking with you. They're going to follow up and get that website done right away. Now I'm on to the next merchant services sale. So the idea is you want to look for services like our web design reseller program where it's pretty close to a referral program. You're just like leveraging those relationships to add, $20 a month here and $40 a month here and $20 a month there. Next thing you know, you've made 3 or 4 things like that. All of a sudden you're making, instead of 20, you're making 100 per account or whatever that number is for you, depending on the accounts you go after. But, now you're making a significant increase on that. So now those 30 customers are worth a lot more money to you. But again, without wasting a huge amount of time and allowing you to move on to the next one. So the 3 steps to growing your merchant services portfolio. Number 1, get organized. If you're new or maybe you haven't been successful, take a week. 1 week and say, I'm going to take 5 business days and then I'm getting out in the field. And then in those 5 business days, make sure you understand the paperwork and what your processor has to offer. Make sure you go through the training at instantquotetool.com and make sure you have business cards. That's it. Okay. Then step number 2, get out in the field and start prospecting. Choose your prospecting method, either phone to set local appointments. Don't try to sell over the phone initially. It's too hard. Local appointments or walking into the business. Make your choice and live with it until you have 30 accounts. Spend 6 to 8 hours a day out in the field doing it. So get out in the field, get your first 30 accounts. Again, laser focus on merchant services and savings. A quick pitch. You're going to boom, 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 just run through real quick. You're going to talk to 200 people and 30 of them are going to buy from you. Quick, really fast. Get those 30 accounts. Then next, focus on referrals. Go back and ask your client if they know the name of any other local business owner in the area. Get referrals and try to increase your margin or profit monthly on each account by offering something that's not going to take a huge amount of your time, but something that you can just go in, leverage your relationship, get them to sign up real quick for something that doesn't have a big upfront barrier to entry. It's a quick sale and something that you're not really very involved with. You're just kind of sending it off like our web design program. By the way, if you're interested in that, you can go to ccsalespro.com and there's a blog article there. You can click on this blog article if you want and click a link and you can register for a live event where I'm going to explain our web design reseller program and give you an opportunity to sign up for it if that's something that interests you. Hey, my name is James Shepard. I hope these steps will help you to grow your merchant portfolio and I hope you have an awesome day.